Hello and welcome back to Coffee with Temmi. How are you doing? How have you been? Recently, a friend of mine sent me a clip of an interview that she had been part of. And when I watched it, all I could think of is, oh my word, oh my word, oh my word, what is going on here? This is so raw. This is so basic. This is like bare to the bones. What is she doing? It wasn't the question that she was asked. It wasn't the topic of the interview. It was the way she was dressed. She was totally dressed down. And when I say dressed down, it was COVID style kind of dressed down. So you know what I'm talking about. She had no makeup on. She had her hair in a scarf, though she told me later it's not a scarf. And she was just wearing track pants and a jersey. I think it was even cold. So she was very dressed down. I was concerned for two reasons. I thought, is something going on? Why would she dress like this? Because it's not like her. She is very on point when it comes to dressing and dressing for the occasion and going out. And I thought this was a quite an important interview. Why would she dress like this? To be honest and to be fair, her dressing didn't take away from the message of the interview. She was on point. Girl, you were good. So I called her and I said, why on earth did you do this? Was that the brief where you told to dress down? And she said, no, she just couldn't care. She just couldn't be bothered to do anything to get, there are those days where you get up and you just don't care. You just want to be, okay, maybe you don't know about this, but you just want to be yourself. And she said, it's just the time of life. It is what it is. This is how I am. You take it or you leave it. And that was how she was feeling. I did say to her that, girl, you didn't represent it there. You didn't do it properly. And to be fair, when she said, when she did say, she thought, oh, maybe I could have just done something. But what I'm getting at here is the older I get, especially I'll talk about me now. The older I get, I find that I am not bothered about stuff, because now so many different things are stuff. I am not bothered about certain things while other things irritate me and I'm very impatient about it. When I was younger, I went to parties. I drank. I went to nightclubs because I thought that was what you did when you were in your 20s. It took me some years and then I realized this is not who I am and I'm not going to do it. Yeah, certain things happened and then I didn't do certain things depending on what it was. But I am glad that I'm not doing all those things now. I am not a party person. I'm not talking about you now. I am not a party person. I am not a loud person. I actually don't like loud music, though I like music and I like dancing. I don't drink. Some people think I don't drink because I am a Christian. I stopped drinking way before I found God. I just don't do it because I realized at one point it wasn't me, And the older I get, the more I like myself. That's what I'm finding. The more I like myself. Not as young as I look. And obviously there is makeup on. So, you got to represent, you got to look good when you're in public. And that's okay. But if I think about the amount of time that I spent on making up my face before leaving the house before, on the amount of makeup that I used to put on my face, oh, I don't even know how I managed it. I don't know how I survived it. But that was for that age. And I did it. And I'm glad I did it. I looked good then. I still look good now. Don't you think? I still look good now. And that's what it is about getting old. They used to say before, old, get old, grow old gracefully. But these days we find that 40 is supposed to be the new 20, 50 the new 30, and 60 the new 40. Not really sure what this means, except that the older we're getting with the advances in medicine and the things that we're doing these days, we are able to keep ourselves looking more youthful, even in our thinking, the things that are available to us. I can remember my mom at my age, she wouldn't do certain things. She wouldn't think in a certain way. And I would expect as of that time, I would expect to behave in a certain way, but not anymore. Not anymore. Having said that, I do have a pet peeve, I think, with older people my age, who are dress like teenagers. I'm not saying you don't have a good body, and I'm not body shaming. What I am saying is some things are just not, they're just not right for a certain age. We all know, I'm talking to us ladies now, we all know that at a certain age, whether you like it or not, unless you're going under the knives, things go south. And that's okay. It doesn't take away from your, it doesn't take away from your sexiness. It's something that comes from the inside. It's an attitude that you need to have. If, like my friend now, I was like, girl, that is confidence. You know, this thing is going on your university page. You know, thousands, millions of people might see it, and you don't care. It's confidence that comes from the inside. It's not about the makeup, the lipstick, the eyeshadow, whatever. It's not about that. It's who you really are. Because if you don't look, if you can't find that in yourself, if you think that, well, if I don't wear makeup, they're not going to think I look pretty. I look pretty with or without makeup. And I'm not just saying that. I know I do. Maybe I'm being vain today. I actually have no idea what's going on. You are not the makeup. You are not the eyeshadow. You are not the. Have you seen some false eyelashes? It looks as if there's going to be a butterfly flying off the eyes. You are not your makeup. You are not your eyelashes. You are not. You're not even your job. That's something I'm talking about next week. Who you are is inside of you. And if you cannot find that confidence there, let me give there's going to be a problem. Let me give an example. When I started going gray, I don't know if you can see gray here now. When I started going gray, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to be gray then. And I would take a mascara, black mascara, and I'll use it at the bottom, at the roots of my hair. And then I felt okay. And then I will go to the salon, have my hair, I have my hair relaxed and all of that. And then one point, even before COVID, I just stopped. First, I stopped with the relaxing, and I just let my hair go natural. So I'm totally natural now, and I just let my hair grow natural. It's not as easy to maintain, I'll tell you that, as when you have relaxed hair, but I like it. And sometimes I just comb it out, and I didn't cut it. I just comb it out, and I look at this bushy Einstein thing going on my head, and I just smile. I'm just so happy that I am this person. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just happy that I am this person. We've got to allow ourselves to be raw. One thing that I find with being raw, and I'm going to use that word, is a word that I read about something that's entirely, and it just explained to me who and what I am right now. It's a freedom. There is a freedom in the rawness. There is a freedom in attitude. There's a freedom in thinking. There is a freedom in speech. I'm not saying we are misspeaking or misbehaving, but there's a freedom in being able to say, this is what I think, and not worry about whether you're offending someone because you want to be woke. I don't care about being politically correct. I care about being true to my convictions. If I am convinced about something, if I know that I know that I know, then that's more important to me. I don't care about following what the Joneses are doing, for example. And we need to get to that point as we grow older. Otherwise, we're not going to have peace. And if you don't have peace, you're not going to have this raw freedom. I asked some ladies, some women, not ladies, some women. And one thing that someone said just hit the nail on the head. She said to me, I don't need to have my hands held to live or navigate the world. Being true to myself is the most liberating thing I've ever done. I enjoy being older than in my 20s. And that is exact. I enjoy being older. I enjoy this age. I thought I was going to enjoy being 40. Or it's going to be like, oh my word, what now what's going to happen? And then it came and it went. And I realized that, oh, I like it. I like it. I like being this age. There's just so much fun. I can't explain it unless you have been there. And then I got older and I'm like, yeah, I do have those days when it's not so much fun to be on your own at a certain age. But most days I like to just sit in my house, for example, and do nothing. I have a Saturday where from Friday evening, I just switch off my phone. Thank you, Apple. I just put it on Do Not Disturb, and that's it. Because my family might look for me once in a while, I check it to see if they asked of me. Let me say hello. Let me say I'm fine, and I can leave. I can have my. I have no FOMO about switching off my phone. I have absolutely none. As much as I like technology, as much as I like the internet, I have absolutely no problem switching off my phone. I'm telling you, it's not a problem for me. And I had to get to that place. When we grow older and we grow gracefully in our minds, in our thinking, we actually benefiting ourselves. When we, I remember some years ago, I won't say a few now, this young lady, this young woman that I know said she was I called and she said, oh no, I couldn't take the call. Then I was in an art class. I was sketching a nude portrait. And he said, oh, a nude portrait, said yes, was actually a nude guy. But she's an artist. And even though I was like, oh, I am not a prude. Okay, I do come across like that sometimes, but it's a lie. I'm not a prude. And I realize now, I wish I could have that opportunity. Not because I want to look at a naked man, but I would like to do something out of my comfort zone. I would like to learn something new because I just don't have as much time as I used to. I don't want to live the number of years that I've lived already. I don't want that many more years to come. I want to grow old well. I want to grow old healthy. I want to grow old wealthy, but I don't want to be and somebody, excuse me, somebody holding my hand, somebody cleaning me. I don't want that kind of old age. No, I don't. So I want to do things that before I will think, what's my mother going to say? What's my father going to say? I don't want to do things that will bring dishonor to my family, but I want to do things that are true to me, that I am, that shows me who I am, that gives me pleasure. I want to do those things. And I find that I'm no longer afraid to say, yes, I like this. Yes, I enjoy this. Yes, I'm not going to do that. I've never been afraid to say no. Let me be honest. I've never been afraid to say no. And more these days, it's it's even much more easier to say no. It's much more easier to say no. So where am I going with my rawness? Let's be true to ourselves. Ladies, especially, let's be true to ourselves. Let's take ourselves, embrace ourselves, honor ourselves, dignify ourselves in our dressing, in our speech. We don't have to be like everybody else. We don't have to use the F word. When you were growing up, how many of you my age, how many of you in your 40s, how many of you will use the F word in front of your parents? Will even use the F word in public? All of a sudden, everything goes. I am impatient. I was going to forget that. I am so impatient now with people, not just young people, with people. People have lost their manners. You see the way they behave on the plane sometimes? Parents are being kicked off, are being banned from their children's school because they cannot behave on the sports ground. You're supposed to go to the sporting event of your child's school and clap and encourage them. And if they don't score, be there, oh, shame, darling, and soothe them. Don't go fight the referee. That's not your job. Don't go there and tell the teacher, teachers, we are afraid to talk to parents because we are afraid to talk to the children because we don't know what parents are going to do. And I find it's not just here in South Africa. When I go online, there's a thing on YouTube called board teachers. You will laugh yourself silly if you're a teacher. But at the same time, you can relate to what is going on. And you wonder what is in the head of this parent when they say this. What are they thinking? We are not showing we're not giving our young people responsibility. We're not showing them how to behave. We're not showing them how to talk. We're not showing them, just the things that we need to do as an older generation because we want to stay young. I say to my child, and I say to the young people that I work with, I'm not your friend. We're friendly. I'm friendly. with you, but I'm not your friend. You need to get that right. I'm not your friend. There's a line. I'm the adult, you're the child. Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. Yes, Whoopi Goldberg. She wrote this book called Is It Just Me? If you're 40 and over, please go and read it. Is it just me? You need to, like, okay, maybe I'm living on another planet. Maybe I'm in another universe. Maybe I'm in the old verse, whatever that's going to be now. And that's why I think this is wrong. I've had doors almost slamming in my face because the person in front of me didn't think to hold the door for me, okay? But don't just swing it back. There's somebody behind you. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I was young, when we were going in primary school, when we were in a bus going to school, and someone older than you, you know, a mommy or a dad, everybody at home were uncles and aunties and mummies and daddies. You will get up because they will then sit on that space and put you on their lap. Okay, I don't want anybody putting my child on their lap these days. Those were safer times. But the thing is, we will get up. And if you woe betide you that you don't think that you should get up, you get a tweak, you know, at the back of your head. And it wasn't child abuse. It was simply, come on, show respect, get up. And they don't expect you to pay for yourself. They will then pay your fare in the bus. But these days, young people are going to slam right into you when they're walking. If you don't move out, we have to move out of the way. They don't think it's wrong. It's equal right. I don't care if I'm politically incorrect. There are certain things that I know is wrong to say. I will not say it. But there are also certain things that I'm not going to just be one of the gang. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be. Now, let me go. Let me finish with this. What my friend said, and another friend, partner, she said that she's discovered now that I have a lot more power than I thought I had, that I have accomplished more than I ever thought I would, that people, including your friends and family, will let you down. Limit access to yourself and guard your heart. That I am wonderful, but also flawed. That latter was a big shock. I had to laugh when I read this. What do you mean? You didn't think you had any flaws? We've all got flaws, girl. That I don't have all the answers and I'm not the project manager of the entire universe. Another huge shock. I think that happens to those of us who are first child. You know, first children, we seem to think we have to take care of everybody. We have to take care of everything. And we have to make sure that things are fixed, things are working, you know, almost like a man. But we don't have to. We can just be. That no matter what you are going through, there is still such beauty in this world. Because we have an amazing creator who loves us so much and has good plans for us to give us a hope and a future. I've learned so much and continue to learn. Most importantly, no matter what I've done, if I was the only one left, Jesus would have still died for me. That sometimes breaks me in the most beautiful way. I know exactly what she's talking about there. Because when I think of what I did, the things that I did when I was younger, I'm like, if I was God, I wouldn't even like myself. Actually, at one point, I didn't like myself. This is me not liking myself. So I'm glad that Jesus died because of me. I will say this. I'm happy to be who I am. I may not have all the riches that I want now. I may not have traveled as much as I would have loved. I may not be tall. I am never going to be taller. I've accepted it. I guess I can be slimmer if I can just control my mouth. But I'm learning to accept my body shape. I'm never going to please everybody. Not even a matter of at the same time. I'm never going to please everybody. So I'm going to be myself, and liking me is on you. Whether you like me or you don't like me is on you. I'm not going to be rude intentionally, but I am going to take advantage of my age and speak my mind. I'm going to love life, and I hope you're going to love life too. I'm going to love the life that I have, and I'm going to love the people around me, and I'm going to let them know that I love them, and I love having them around when I want them to be. I'm just going to be raw in what I do now. I'm going to be basic. I am already not into stuff anymore, because that's how I see so many things now. I am just going to be me. And I hope you will be too. That's where you're going to find that freedom. When you're true to yourself, you will have that freedom. It's been Coffee with Temmi. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.